All right. Well, let's get to the mailbag.
Let's talk some more weather.
Yeah, people want to just have super saver talk here.
How much rain you get at your place?
Sir, it's hot. What have you been up to? Hardly nothing. All right. Well,
All right.
got any fun trips planned for the summer?
I don't see as much. I don't see people conversing in the checkout line. I don't see that as often as I used to. I don't know if that's a code thing.
That's more like when you run into people that you haven't seen and they know you talk.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the mailbag.
Yeah,
God
please.
dang it. What the hell are we doing?
Off to a great start.
Question 1, can Nebraska be top 5 passing in the Big Ten? In reference, 220 yards last year was 5th in the Big Ten in passing. I would expect with the new teams in, you're probably looking at more like 230 to 245-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Can they be that type of thing? I think they can be.
I do.
They're going to need to be.
I don't, when you look at the top teams in the league, well, who has been the top teams in the league? Michigan's not going to put up a big passing number, I don't think, this year. Ohio State's with Chip Kelly is going to run the hell out of it. Okay. No, they're going to run the hell out of it. They still might be a good passing team, but they are going to run.
They also have the best receiving core in the country.
That's true.
Ohio State might run for 250 a game.
Yeah. See, then
throw for 250
or throw for 200. Okay. That's 450.
Yeah, you're right.
Penn State with Drew Aller is a good, he completes 65%, I think, but he doesn't throw it downfield.
Mm-mm.
So what I'm getting at is, I think Nebraska could be, but man, Nebraska's going they averaged 125 a game last year.
Yeah.
125 yards passing a game, if I'm not mistaken. That's off the top of my head. I looked it up the other day. I think it's 125.3.
That's terrible.
Chick and Nick will have fun with that one. I think it's 125.3. And you're
guessing here.
So you're going to be, so you're going to be taking a big jump if you're going to be in the top 5. Huge jump.
Yeah. And Indiana's going to throw the ball all over the place. So they're going to be right up there at the top. I think Oregon's going to throw the ball a bunch.
Indiana will be up there. Huh?
Yes. They're with that offense they're running, they're going to throw it 55 times a game.
Interesting.
They're going to throw it all over the place. Now,
Robin's all in on Indiana.
No, I'm all in their offense. I think they're going to just because of the volume in which they're going to get snaps and play offense, they're going to
Purdue will be that way too.
But they're not going to stop anybody.
Hudson Card.
Indiana's D line is not good.
So Nebraska, not only is it the quarterback discussion, they're much better at receiver. I wonder ultimately how good they'll be, but it looks better right now.
The short controlled passing game too will be there, and it hasn't been there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Where you can get little 6-yard, almost like
dig routes,
like run plays almost.
So much of their passing game was just chunks. If they weren't getting those 50-yard passes to Jalen Lloyd, imagine what their average would have been without that.
Well, they've talked about it in the spring. How about those just quick hitters to the
and yards
sideline.
after the catch?
Quick hitter to the sideline with those big receivers blocking, or a Fedoni out there blocking. Mm-hmm. Right? Hey, listen, if you can get 5 yards on that, that's huge.
All right.
They should.
Good, quick one here. Turning to season predictions, is 8 wins the right number to predict?
7 or 8.
7 or 8. I think it depends on just kind of how optimistic you are. But if they can beat Colorado, I think they have a great chance at 8 wins.
Yeah, I'm sticking with 7 and 5 just to stay conservative and just kind of believe it before I can see it. Yeah. But 8's certainly in the cards, especially if
you misled us.
Hey, if they beat Colorado and do so somewhat convincingly, I think that they got a chance to get some momentum and then be all the way to the bowl game by the time the midway point of the season hits.
Nebraska fans have there's a different vibe that Sean's alluding to. There's not this outpouring of optimism. It's more reserved now. And I think people they are fine with you saying 7 and 5. And they probably prefer that.
Just surprised me, basically. It's kind of the mentality. Yeah. Because look, everyone, 2019, that was supposed to be like the turnaround for Frost, and they went 5 and 7.
Yeah, that was Bill Moose in the hallway of the Chicago Hilton. I asked him, what's your expectation for this season? What would be a good expectation, a reasonable expectation? What do you want to see? He said 6 wins in a bowl game. It was interesting that he attached a number to it. That, which brings the question: would Dannon do that tomorrow, Wednesday?
Seems like a good question.
Don't give up your
Indy.
playbook.
I
You just gave up your whole play script there.
Yeah, I do that.
He's gonna be ready for you now.
Yeah, have her answer ready, Troy.
Make
All
it a
right.
good one.
With Harbaugh now gone in the
Okay.
Big Ten, what coaches are you excited to hear from at media days?
It's a big void. I mean, let's
Yeah.
face it. That's a big void. No Harbaugh,
Right.
because he's by far the most interesting character.
Yeah, because you never knew what he was going to say.
No, and he was when he walked in the room, it was just automatically more interesting. Now, who's that? There's nobody. That's the answer.
Well,
Maybe-
I think Rule could be
Rule.
like that, but I don't think he wants to be. I think Rule does not want to
He
just
doesn't
go
wanna
in
be
there
a
talking.
gimmicky.
Yeah.
But he does use opportunities like that to make points. Like if he's got something that he wants to put out there, like he's going to find a way to do it. And
Right.
what a perfect opportunity if he's got something to say about roster sizes or something
Yeah.
like that. Like maybe he could have some sound bites that come out of that podium session.
Maybe. But man, comparing him to Harbaugh in terms of just entertainment value, no, it ain't happening.
This is an interesting question. Will Nebraska and Notre Dame ever have another home and home series? I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Unless they join the Big Ten down the road. But it
Why do
just
you say that?
well, because it's not on the schedule now, and it just you got to remember Nebraska played Notre Dame in 2000 and 2001, and I believe their one before that was like in the 40s.
I think so.
So Notre Dame just doesn't hand out home and homes.
No.
And with their scheduling agreement already with the ACC right now, at least, it's hard to get a series with Notre Dame.
Well, you said it yourself, Sip. I mean, going forward with this conference expansion, like going out of your way to bulk up your non-con, just
Right.
you're doing yourself a disservice.
Well, forget what I say. That's what Rule has said.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the biggest reason I think it won't happen.
Right.
I mean, just because you're taking on too much.
It's every
Nebraska's
50 or
just not
60
there yet.
I mean, every 50 or 60 years is when they've played Nebraska. And it used to be Nebraska beat the Four Horsemen twice.
This is an interesting discussion because not everybody's the same. Not all schools approach it the same way. Rule right now has explicitly said he doesn't want to have a powerful Power 4 team on his non-conference schedule. Now that could change if Nebraska really gets rolling. But look at like USC playing LSU out of the gate. Now what I've heard is Lincoln Riley didn't want
He
it.
tried to get out of the game.
Is that right? Like
Yeah.
Frosty?
Yep.
Like he tried to pull a Frosty.
Yep.
I still would love to know who leaked that to Brett McMurphy. to get that storm going downhill.
But even then, like those big non-conference things, a lot of them are just at neutral sites now, to where you're not playing a true road
Right.
game or a true home. Like I mean, like the home and home of those, I think are so few and far between.
Right.
now.
You go
So
to
where-
Jerry's World.
Yeah, you go to
play.
Jerry World or you go to the LA Stadium or something like that. Like I think that's probably the way this is moving now. When you get those high profile non-conference matchups, it's all going to be neutral site, just like college basketball.
Nebraska's going to play Cincinnati and Indianapolis, which doesn't make any sense to me.
Not really.
You think that one sticks?
It's on the schedule for next year.
You going back to USC and LSU and why Lincoln Riley might not want to play that. It's because of what we've seen happen to Nebraska in like 2007 when USC pulverized Nebraska and ruined its season. That's USC's got to be very careful in that game because LSU will pound you up front and USC's suspect up front on defense. It's not only the physical toll, it's the mental toll and the emotional toll. I'm sure that's what Lincoln Riley was worried about.
Okay, final question. And if you know our travels to Indianapolis, one of our traditions has been hitting a famed Mexican restaurant, El Toro. And by the way, a large group of seminarians reached out to me, and they hit up El Toro during a gigantic priest convention.
Look at him.
And look at these guys just crushing El Toro on the recommendation of Husker Online.
God bless them.
And we appreciate.
Look at the men of the cloth. That's beautiful.
Hopefully somebody picked their check up for them.
I wonder how they did it. But that's a nice deal for El Toro. It's a good hit.
So El Toro, we've got
Beautiful.
we got a margarita question for you, Steve Sipple.
Yeah, that's fine.
Steve Sipple likes his margaritas the traditional lime flavor, or does he try other flavors? I had a smoked jalapeno, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah, I like the mezcal. I like mezcal.
Pineapple.
Yeah, pineapple mezcal at El Toro is really good. I do tend to stick to traditional lime. It's pretty simple: lime on the rocks, salt. That's what I
Don't kill me on the. I'm a lot of things. I'm not a tequila person.
You're not.
I just don't like tequila.
Is that right?
I just don't like I mean, I can.
Tequila just sits with me really well.
I think I've had bad cheap tequilas.
Yeah,
and then
that'll hurt you.
It throws you off.
Oh yeah, there's this distinct difference between the Cuervos and the
Don
Patrons,
Julio.
or like that makes a huge difference.
Let me
Yes,
recommend Don Julio.
Don Julio.
And
So
then-
get you going.
Finally, who on the Husker Online staff is responsible for making sure Stephen M. Sipple brings his luggage on this
I
trip?
already started to pack. I should be fine.
Put it in your truck today.
No. I'm not going to do that.
Just make sure
I'll
you have
remember.
it.
That's amazing. Amazing that you'd walk out the door without it. But I won't do that again.
We're not
That would
making
be
any
bad.
Target runs when we get there. We don't have enough time.
No, we don't have time, and I don't want to buy like a pants.
I'd hate to see like your closet and how you organize your house.
It's pretty rough.
Look,
It always has been,
it's organized chaos, right? Like
Yeah.
you know where stuff is.
pretty much. Yeah.